Originally wanted just to find out some of the different things that they did, being fairly new to primary reduction and farming, and got on to Adam at local land service at Scone, and he popped up and sort of went from there. So, and that's where we found out a bit more around the Halls Creek Catchment grants program.
Yeah, we've had a partnership with local land services over a few different projects. Going back a number of years now, we partnered with Hunter LLS for the Waibong Catchment Health Improvement Program back in 2011, and that program went for a number of years, and we've continued on that partnership with the adjacent catchment in Halls Creek along the similar lines, where we're trying to support landholders, improve their productivity, biodiversity, increasing ground cover, things like that which are important to landholders so that they can achieve environmental outcomes but also improve their productivity and in their business.
Well, the relationship's been really collaborative. We've been working together for upwards of 10 years through a couple of organisation changes on both sides. Consistently we've worked with the same people, which is really important, and I think it's been really positive and productive. Both organisations are getting benefit from it, and more importantly we're putting funding and benefit out into the community and the environment.
This site was an actively eroding gully system, so with a saline base flow. So we were looking at salinity and sediment being transported into the Halls Creek. So that's probably the number one issue. The second issue is around biodiversity, or the lack of. So that obviously created an imbalance in the water table. So we've looked at addressing those two issues primarily. One through implementing some conservation earthworks to remediate this gully system, and two, establishing some tube stock, native provenance tube stock to improve biodiversity.
Okay. So this site before the works was quite a eroded, what we call wetlands or swampy meadows. You can see from the contours here it actually takes a lot of water through, and with this soil type we had an active erosion head sort of just behind you there that was pushing back up on that water line. So that was one of our main priorities, was to try to arrest that active erosion, and also then to try to slow the water flowing down here and soak it back in. In turn, we made the decision not to stock this area with the drought and the current conditions, and we'll probably keep stock off here for at least another 18 months or so to give this area a chance to regenerate. Getting the hydrology functioning again in the landscape is going to be really important, and then as part of that, or as accelerators on top of that, we're looking at some shrub and tree planting, sort of pioneers to try to help with the salinity issues through here and increase the biodiversity. We have pretty good sort of bird life in the area from the bird monitoring. We want to sort of explode that further. Okay, so the plans for our block is we're looking at probably, to be honest, a couple of years of extensive regenerative works. That's including working with land services. Further down the track is to actually return this back to quite a sustainable and regenerative grazing operation, looking at meat, sheep and cattle.
So this site was chosen as one of our woodland bird monitoring sites. So we've had 12 sites throughout the catchment. So there's 2 sites on this property, looking at woodland birds as an indicator species of ecological health. So monitoring is being carried out here in autumn time. We'll have another round of monitoring in spring, and then spring and autumn next year.
Coming out on site today has been a great experience. We've been able to speak to landholders about what they're doing on ground, about the fencing, the watering points, how that's helped them with their land management, improving their land management practices, increasing biodiversity, but certainly in the longer term and even in the short term, increasing the productivity of their land holdings. So we've seen things like different groundworks, which some of the landholders have done, the different soil moisture probes that are part of the program. Great opportunity for us to come out and see some of the bird survey sites, which is an important part of the program for us to understand and monitor bird species in the area. We know that's a great tool to measure biodiversity, and it's been a fantastic opportunity for us to come and see those bird survey sites.
Okay, so working with Adam, look, Adam's been fantastic. He is really flexible and approachable in relation to understanding the details of what goes on behind a grants program, and also working with different parts of land services and SoilCon, for example. What was great is, and I think what probably held me back looking at doing something like this in the past, is all the paperwork and the red tape. So Adam managed all that sort of process, which just made it a lot easier to work with. Without that sort of approach, I probably wouldn't have gotten involved.